Please start us with a word of prayer. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you, our customers, for joining us today. We hope you will enjoy the session. Let's pray so that you can begin. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. Thank you for giving us grace sufficient to be here for this event. We pray as we take our customers through on how best to manage their businesses and to grow their businesses and to grow their wealth, that you're going to be with us and lead us through the session. This we pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Peter, back to you.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Lois. Lois is one of our staff members who is also our host in this event. She supports our relatives who are in diaspora or customers who live in diaspora. So we want to start immediately. And again, a very, very warm welcome. I see we have joined from all over. I can see we have very good numbers. We are all, almost 100. And I know majority are joining. Good to see that we are learning, and we already continue to get feedback from you that you are getting good insights. And this is another session that we have for MSMEs to again expose you to some of the insights that will help you to grow your businesses, and especially in regards to people management. And when we are talking about people, we are saying that you have employees, you have maybe other stakeholders that you work with, and we want to share some insights that will help you to manage these people very, very well. So asanteni sana for joining today. We have today's session. We have 2 or 3 agendas, and the first is to again train you on the people management that will be taken through by Chris Wandoi Owambla and Colonel Ogutu. And we will have another presentation on e-commerce. This is now from the bank side in terms of a solution that again that can help you in business. After that, we'll have question and answer session. So as we progress, we start immediately, and we want to end at 12:30. We'll take 1.5 session. So I want to invite you to ensure that we keep learning. In terms of the important information, we have muted our microphones and our videos just to make sure that we don't have any interruptions. But we are encouraging us that we use the chat box down there. There is also a Q&A icon there that we can also use to share our feedback and even our reactions down there. We can even give a clap. We can even give a smiley face down there again. However, we also want you to enjoy this session because it's for us to learn, and again, we ensure that we enjoy the session. As we progress, I want to know where your names, where you are coming from, and what your expectations for the day. That even for our trainers, they will be looking forward to know what do our customers have today in terms of expectations. So maybe you can pause for half a second just for us to use the chat box down there to tell us your names, where you are coming from, and what are your expectations for the day. Thank you. Thank you. So our customers, feel free to use the chat box. I see already Beldin from Busia. Thank you so much. Los Maluki, Jacob Megich. Yeah, tell us where you're coming from and maybe what would be your expectations for the day. Yeah, you can see we have good numbers. We are almost 100. We are 97. Good. Kennedy from Malala, Amos from Nairobi. We have Sabataki from Mombasa, Clement from Nairobi, Franklin Kariuki from Chicago, all the way from Chicago, Karibu Sana, Mugabi John, all the way from Juja, Bilian from Kiabu, Ezra from Kisumu, Asante Sana, Karibuni Sana, Jacob from Golesha Sako, Karibu Karibu sana. Evans from Ongata Longai. We have Neville Ochola from Nairobi. Karibuni sana. Mike from Nairobi again, joining for the first time. Thank you so much. Please feel free also to share your expectations so that we can continue to look at them and see what to keep on addressing. We have Moses Kirina from Nairobi again. Yeah, I can see all of you are from every part of the country. Jezel Mwandime, all the way from Voi, Asante Sana again. Boni Kibisu again, Airport Sacco, Nairobi. Karibu Sana. I see Lokite, all the way again from Kapenguria. Good to see you coming from all over, and Karibuni Sana. So yeah, we can continue to chat. Yeah, I can see Moligoli from Kisii. I think we are happy our customers to join you in this session, and we want to learn, and we'll be having 2 presenters taking us through. Another 3 presenters. One of them is Chris Wandoi. Chris Wandoi, it's coming from Pulse Kenya Consults Limited. He's an accredited trainer, as you can see down there, by ILO. Then we also have Colonel Ogutu, again, an IFC master trainer, and has engaged with MSME in all the areas of transformative leadership. Yeah, with 15 years in experience. So we'll be having them take us through the presentation on the people management, because this is very critical, and it has also come as a feedback from you customers to tell us, give us some insights on how to manage our people. And then of course we'll have some presentation from Dalmas Mukabalasi. He's in charge of our e-commerce in the bank, and he'll also share a few insights, and then we'll have some questions and answer session. So karibuni sana, and without further ado, I want to invite Christopher Wandoi from Pulse Kenya, just to start it off for us and take us through. Thank you so much, customers, and thank you so much, Christopher. Good to see you. Karibu.
Thank you very much, Peter, for that kind warm welcome. And thank you all the customers who have joined. As Peter said, I'm Christopher Wandoi from Pulse Kenya Consults. Together with me is my colleague, Colonel Ogutu. And we have other members of Pulse Kenya Consults who are in the meeting. We have Annabelle, we have Karen, and we have Edward. They are also part of the participants, and we'll be able to hear Colonel when I'll bring him on board as we move on with our discussion this morning. Now, our discussion, as Peter said, is people management, and we want to look at it from the MSME's perspective. And it's a very important topic, just as Peter has told us now, because we are looking at how do we manage people? How do we relate with them? How do we move on with them? What are they to us? And for this session, we have the main purpose for our session is we want to equip the participants here with the concepts, the knowledge and competencies to enable you to manage your business and to adjust to ever changing internal and external environment. Because here we'll be talking about people. When we talk about people management, we'll be looking at your employees and also look at even the people who come into your business. How do you relate with them? How do you manage them? So we'll be looking at how do we determine the behavior in an organization? How does it interfere the influences of personalities and even participate in conflict resolution as we move on with our discussion. Now, I would want to start with a quote from one of the sons of our soil, but in America, called General Colin Powell, who was a chairman of Joint Forces of Staff in the US. Now, he says something here that I want us to reflect on as we begin our discussion this morning. He says, the day customers stop bringing you their problems is the day you have stopped serving them. They have either lost confidence that you can help them, or concluded that you do not care. Either case, is a failure of customer service excellence. You know, that is that's quite a powerful statement, that he says that the day customers, now the day people stop bringing their problems to you is the day you have stopped serving them. And he says that they either lost confidence that you can help them or concluded that you do not care. And finally says, either case is a failure of customer excellence. So as we go through, we are thinking of how do we manage this? How do we ensure that we work closely with the people we have? I know some of us here have employees, maybe 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, how do you work with them? Because these are the engine. These are the people who make our businesses run. So as we move on, the question that we ask ourselves, what is the importance of people management to us as people in the businesses? Number one, it helps us to understand what people think, feel, and do in business or enterprise settings. So we want to see, how do they feel? How do they think and do in business or enterprise settings that we have? Number two, improve and change individual and group to attain individual, group, and enterprise goals. Now, remember, we are having people we are working with. You might have been the person with the initiative, you are the person who had the idea, but now you have brought in people on board, people whom you want to work with as your employees. Now, it is you who has that idea. It is you who has the goal. Now, how do you bring them? How do you ensure that you bring them together so that that goal that you had is also embraced by all these other employees? So it depends on how you manage them, how you go with them is what will ensure that these people move in the right direction. So people are your best asset in any business. These are their best asset in any business. So you need to know, how do I motivate them? So we'll be thinking about how to motivate them. What are some of the skills they need? And about relational skills. Now, these three things are very important to us. So people management is a cross-cutting activity. You're talking about motivation, talking about the skills, and talking about relational skills. Now, the question is, why managing people? Then how managing people? How will you manage these people? Then choosing and keeping people, even during recruitment. Remember, we have mentioned that when people are the most important assets in your business. So even thinking of recruitment, how you recruit, the people you recruit and bring them on board into your business will determine how far you go with your business. Are they people who will embrace the ideas? Are they people who will embrace the goals that you have so that you can achieve what you have? So what about motivation? Now, motivation here is the desire within an individual that stimulates him or her to action. That one is according to somebody by the name George R. Terry. Now, he says that motivation is the desire within an individual that stimulates him or her to action. Now, how do you stimulate? How do you bring this desire, which is internal, that will make this person also to be motivated, this person to move on with a journey, move on with appreciating what you have? So when you talk about motivation, you think about focus, you need to focus only on solutions and not on problems. Because you want to motivate them, you want to make them feel good, you want to make them feel high, you want to make them feel that, this business is not for somebody else, but it's my own business. Now you need to rethink, review, and reward. And rewarding here, we are talking about not only in terms of money, but rewarding can be the words you use, saying thank you. Just one morning, just come tell them that, by the way, you guys, yesterday you had a wonderful day. It was good. I know it has been challenging, but you are doing well. It's about listening and listening to these people. Now, when you're talking about listening here, you're talking about listening, physically listening what they're saying. And you cannot listen by your eyes, just looking at them and see how they relate, what they do. You can even learn a lot from them. Now, again, being flexible in terms of the ideas, in terms of the things you do, procedures, and all the things you have. Now, Thinking also, being also, you can scorn in private. When you want to reprimand, don't reprimand in public. However, there are cases that you might also be needed to reprimand in public, but it's good to scorn or to reprimand in private. But when it comes to praises, praise in public, so that that person who has not been praised, who has not done something good, also may aspire and also desire that one day I also need to get the same praise. Rid your mind of the word manager and replace it with the leader. Because here, the leader is, you are giving guidance, you are doing something and they are following, so that when you are not even there, you know, sometimes there are those of us, we run enterprises, we run businesses that when we step out, the business collapses. Now it collapses because you have not been leading, you have been managing. Lead. Show them examples of what to do. Then they'll be able now to follow even in your absence. Include your team in key management decisions. Bring them on board as much as you are the final person here. You are the one who has the final say. But sometimes it's important that you bring an idea. Let them also be part and parcel of the discussion that you are doing, so that they'll also feel part that, you know, it is not only him. We are all part of this. We are all part of this. And finally, be fair. Be fair to all of them. Be fair to all of them. So motivation depends on satisfying needs. Satisfying these needs of these people. It can't be assumed that physiological and safety needs are satisfied. Social esteem and self-realization are most significant from a managerial viewpoint. So you need to see, how do I satisfy these needs? And we'll be talking about it in a little while. Now, when you think about, we want to use the Maslow Pyramid. And here, we're saying that we need, know your team members as individuals and work to understand their specific needs. Know them. It is important. If you have more than two, there are those of us who might even be having two employees, but don't know even their names. Get to know them. Call them by names. Know what they do, so that even you can come in at the time of need. This will help you to identify what actions are needed on your part to keep them motivated. Remember, we're talking about motivation, making these people feel energized. When building your team, try to make sure that lower level needs are met. These are what we are talking about, physiological needs. When you encounter a motivational issue, try to find out if there are lower level needs that are not being met, and take steps to meet them if possible. And we'll be seeing which are these lower needs that we need to look at. Now, when we talk about, we use the model of the Maslow, number one, we have the physiological needs. Now, these are things that need to provide input for employees. Issues of salaries, bonus, and rewards. You need to take care of that. They might be getting not a lot of much of money, but the way you are prompt in giving them, and you don't give them complaint that, if it were not of you, you could have all been dead by now. Corona has done this and that, and I'm just doing you a favor. No, just give them what belongs to them. Number two, safety needs. Ensure the correct tools for the job are available. Create an environment where individuals are comfortable challenging requests that are dangerous. Now, safety needs, if they are working, you are working in an environment where they need to wear the gloves, please provide for that. If it's a place where they need gumboots, provide for that. If it's a place where they need masks, provide for that. Just provide those safety needs. Then number three, the social needs. Social needs. Now you need to schedule weekly project meetings. Get the team together to celebrate project milestones. Just have meetings with them so that, out of the meetings, you'll be able now to address certain issues that are there. If you wait for so long, these things pile. And as they pile, you might not realize your objective as a business. Number four, the team needs. Recognize team members for excellent contributions to the project of the business. Ensure each team member understands how important they are to the project or to the business. Look at them, tell them, without you, we cannot achieve the success. Remember, you have the global objective up there. Then each of the employees here have a way that they contribute for you to get that bigger profit that you want to get. Because if one does not achieve, then definitely the bigger picture is not realized. So bring them on board, build their self-esteem so that they feel, we are part of this team. This is my business, not someone else's business. Number 5, self-actualization needs. Take into account each team member's professional goals when assigning tasks. Look at what they have done. Their skills, their talents, and give them duties looking at their professional skills. Now empower team members so that they can develop and grow. Encourage them to, you can organize for some small trainings. It might not be for a lot of money. Invite somebody just to talk to them about how to handle customers, how to behave, how to handle certain businesses, so that they develop their talents and skills as they move on. And that is what we are saying. Now, the lower needs, we're talking about the physiological needs, those survival needs, issues of salary, stable employment. As much as the times are rough, but ensure them that we know we can make it. Don't let them not going home, not even being sure of tomorrow. Encourage them, yes, times are difficult, but tomorrow we are sure that we'll make it. Security needs, stable work environment, the benefits are there. The work safety, ensure all that is taken care of. The issue of belongingness, social concerns, cooperative peers, people come together. Be a good boss where you walk around, say hi to them. Just let them feel they are at home. Esteem needs, respect and recognition concerns. Now here we are talking about job titles. Assign them roles that are equivalent to the skills that they have, so that they'll feel energized because they're doing something that they know, not ignoring the fact that there are those of us who enjoy things that challenge us. So sometimes even you throw in challenges where they struggle with them and encourage them as they move on. Then finally, issues of self-actualization, achievement concerns. They want to be, they're crying for autonomy. They want to be subject matter experts at that level. We are experts in this particular area. If you're in the production area, somebody who has been doing so well in that area, let him also feel that, if I'm not here, things will not move because I'm the expert in this area. Now let them know that, we are part of this team and we have grown together. We are part of we have moved and we can move on as we develop to the higher levels. Now, talking about relational skills. Now, human relational skills go beyond knowledge of business models and professional experience to include personal traits. We also need to look at those personal traits. How far? How are they? What have they done? How, just how to see how you can relate with them and ensure that they understand who they are. They can manage some of these issues they are going through, which will motivate them in their day-to-day activities as they walk to the office, as they come to the business. They know, I'm going to my business because the man, the lady who is the owner embraces me and understands me. So the question that we are asking ourselves, what we are trying to look at, we want to see what are some of the skills that are needed. What are some of the skills that we need when you're talking about this issue? Now, we are talking about skills. In terms of skills, we're talking about skills, self-awareness. Self-awareness, which will give us an added value where you are gaining proficiency in relational skills, which will make you be better. Think about assertiveness. Think about personal boundaries. I need to know my boundaries. Think about emotional self-management. How do you manage your emotions? As you do your work, how do you manage your emotions? Think about issues of conflict resolution. And remember, in businesses, conflicts will be there. But how do you go over these conflicts is what is key to us. Communication, how do you communicate with people? And in turn, as we look at the other side, the value addition, we are thinking about working on emotional self-management, which will make you a better leader. We talked about being a leader, not a manager. You are a leader. Conflict resolution skills will help you be successful in all areas of your life. So it is important now that we pick them and know why we need to learn some of these skills, people management skills. And I want to invite my colleague, Cornell, who will be taking us through as we ask the question, why managing people? Why managing people? Cornell, just tell us, why do we manage people? Why do we need these skills of people management?
Thank you very much, Chris. That was really powerful and also engaged my faculty for me now to know, to realize where I want to go. Then I must meet the physiological needs for me to self-actualize and really get it to the optimum. And the big question now you're asking, why managing people? First is about inspire people to change for better, because people require transformative change. And if that is in the mindset, then it takes us to the next level. Then also take care of the fears when faced with organizational changes and uncertainties. And as you have mentioned, with now COVID, we are seeing a lot of uncertainties in our businesses. So it is important to manage people with that banner. Then introduce new work processes that are essential to the business, and also embark on a new business strategy. I know this is an area that most businesses grapple with. And once you have a business strategy, then you're able to maneuver around. So what are these relational skills? Number one, you need a goal. And for you to achieve that goal, you must be task-oriented, you must be interaction-oriented, and self-oriented. Now, let me go specifically to this. When you hear task-oriented, it's about motivation for doing work in the work itself. So how do we make sure that you are motivated to undertake the work that you have planned to do? What is interaction-oriented? It means that you must believe in the customer concept, believe in the customer empowerment, interaction, response, capacity, and customer value management, because the customer comes first. So if you have all those concepts well aligned, then we are good to go. So what is self-oriented? A self-oriented person sees everything and plans everything according to how it will affect him or benefit him or her. Then it's concerned primarily with oneself and especially with one's own desires and needs. So if you have those interests, it means that now you are a self-oriented person. So looking at the self, then you are able to move to the next level. So let's now delve deeper into what is emotional intelligence. And I just want you to figure out, primarily that emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions, because our emotions will drive us. They will help us recognize, understand, and influence the emotion of others. So if you're able to resonate with the two, then you are good to go. So put that in your radar system. That sometimes is about being aware that emotions can drive our behavior and impact on other people, both positively and negatively. It's learning how to manage those emotions, both our own and others, especially when we are under pressure. And I know in most cases, when you are under pressure, then sometimes we do not make proper decisions. And even sometimes we make proper decisions that would lead to a good relationship building. Next slide, please. There are 3 emotional intelligence quotes. So these are just for your consumption. And perhaps I'll just read one for the purposes of time. That emotional intelligence is managing feelings, feelings that they are expressed appropriately and effectively, enabling people to work together smoothly towards their common goals. That is at least according to Daniel Goleman. So you can already see it's about managing feelings so that people are able to work together. So when our emotional health is in a bad state, so is our level of self-esteem. So sometimes our self-esteem is key for us to move and have proper emotional health. So we have to slow down, deal with what is troubling us, so that we can be able to enjoy simple joy of being happy and at peace with ourselves. So when somebody is at peace, then you can be able to deliver adequately and as it were. So why emotional intelligence? So we know that 90% of high performers at the work possess high emotional conscience, and 80% of low performers have low emotional conscience. Unlike intelligence quotients, which does not change significantly over lifetime, our emotional quotients can evolve and increase with our desire to learn and grow. So as we grow, then these changes. So what are the emotional intelligence, what does it affect? It affects one, our performance, our physical health, our mental health, emotional health, and relationships. And I must emphasize that when the relationships are affected, then obviously, definitely, you are going to be in a situation where you will be compromised and not deliver as it is required. What are then those emotional intelligence skills? I'm just going to figure out, to focus on 4. That is self-awareness, that you must be self-aware, that as you work on relationships and dealing with people, working with your emotions, that must be something that must be very clear in your mind right from the onset. It's about self-leadership, taking initiative always in small tasks that you undertake. Again, it's about social awareness, the areas where you interact with others and gauge how best to move, in terms of managing your emotions. And then relationship management. Building those relationships is very key. Next. So this is what I was trying to explain. And of course, when you are looking at all this in together, then you're able to have somebody who is well-rounded, somebody is able to connect properly with others, and you're able to realize the results that are needed, especially now when you are managing your businesses. So your behavior has an influence on others, whether you want it to or not. That is according to Jen Jenkins, and I like that quote. So it's about individual differences. So let's now delve into the nature of individual differences. They may be physical and psychological. So the physical differences are issues to do with weight, height, appearance, complexion, and so on and so forth. And these ones depend on how we also relate. Because sometimes you may be well inclined towards people who are, people who have height and you want to relate with them. So all these things also come into play. It's also about psychological differences. It's about personality, because we all have different personality types. It's about attitude. So you form opinion over certain aspects of life. Like for example, when I'm having a business, then the lifespan of a business will take, for example, 6 months. Then I have to struggle again. So it's all about attitude. It's about perception and motivation that Chris has well articulated. So this question I also grapple with. What does it take to be a good people manager? It's a very fundamental question that every time employees are looked at the company's biggest asset, and their performance has a major impact going forward. And by hiring skilled employees is just not enough, but how you manage them is what counts. So you need to understand what are those principles that underlie people management, and then develop specific skills to become a good manager. Please underline good management skills, management skills. So then what is people management? It is the act of organizing employees and building teams. So when you want to optimize your business performance, work in small little teams that would have tasks and then evaluate how far you are going with those tasks and whether you are achieving them. Successful people management involve hiring and training the right employees. So when you train the right employees or hire and train them, then you are well assured of achieving optimum levels of performance. Then you continue empowering employee to reach their maximum potential. Because if each employee is well empowered, then even issues of communicating across all team will be more effective, and then directing all team members towards a common goal. Why is people management important? So it is important to mention that a poorly managed team can negatively impact multiple aspects of your business. And a properly managed team, however, can improve company morale, optimize your production levels. Then the efficiency will be improved and then give your company a competitive advantage in the marketplace. So let's delve now into company morale. Companies that have low morale and engagement often have high rates of employee turnover and burnout, and that's evident that if there is high turnover and burnout, then you are not going to achieve as much. Then implementing those optimal people management strategies. So what are those that will give employees a strong sense of ownership over their work and improve their overall job satisfaction? And then creating a solid environment in the workplace is a key company morale that will lead to happy and productive employees. So let's now look at productivity and efficiency. That people management involves organizing your team in a way that increases productivity and optimizes efficiency in how you also use your resources and how you achieve your tasks. So when you have the right employees, then they are properly trained. They will collaborate with other employees to reach their goals. And then you set your team for success. So what about competitive advantage in the marketplace? So it is about understanding how to orchestrate teams can provide small businesses with an added competitive advantage in the marketplace. So how do you maneuver with this team so that they have what it takes to have a competitive advantage? It's very key for businesses to think on those lines. So the question now is, what are people management skills? And these we have seen are several qualities an individual should possess to become an effective manager. So it is a combination of these qualities. So they include integrity, communication, organization, and empowerment as the top 4 people management skills. It is also important for us to talk about qualities for an effective manager. And these are things that keep on emerging as we continue interacting. And one of them is ethics and integrity, that team members want to know what the leaders does, whether the leaders are doing the right thing. So a great manager is honest. So being honest and accountable means that you are somebody with integrity. But if there's lack of trust in a team, then there is going to be a problem. Then clear communication. An effective leader communicates clearly, frequently, thoughtfully, keeping team members appraised about what is happening in the business. So good managers would encourage a two-way communication. So feedback is usually very important as you make communication very clear. What about organization and conscientiousness? Having well-defined goals. And obviously, when your objectives are very clear, or even the processes and timelines are well realized. It's also about empowerment, that great leaders would develop others. So look at yourself, remember self-awareness, and see how you also develop others. Because once you have that urge and that motivation to develop others, then leaders would now take that positive trajectory path of mentoring employees to have high levels of performance. So these are other people management skills It's about being patient. I know this is an area most of us take time to rework on because patience really pays. Issues to do with empathy. You just must fit within your employee's shoe and understand what are their challenges. It's about achievement recognition. So you have to recognize your employees. It's about relatability, adaptability to different situations and environments. It's about conflict resolution that Christopher had alluded to. It's about decisiveness. If you don't make decisions, and in this world of MSMEs, it's about problem-solving decision-making. Always, constantly, we are solving problems and making decisions. So how do you develop people management skills? They are considered as soft skills and can be learned and improved upon. In my other quarter is about also unlearning those behaviors that you have acquired over time. So these are several easy and organic ways you can enhance your people management skills. Then there are 4 ways to improve people management skills. And one of them is ask for frequent feedback from your team. And I said, when there's feedback, then there's constant improvement. Find an experienced coach or a mentor who can guide you. And most of us sometimes lose it out. When you have a coach and a mentor, then they're able to tell you where you have gone wrong and ameliorate some of those challenges that you're facing. And then always maintaining a growth mindset, and then having those resources that are needed to continue training. So in conclusion, a good thing to remember is the AID approach. So remember, AID is about A is action. What did you observe? Because what you observe, you will make it actionable. Then I is impact. What was the effect of the action? So once you do the action, then you must be cognizant of the effect of that action. Then do what should be done differently. Because if you keep on doing something same time, then expect different results, then definitely you are meant to not succeed eventually. So that is the end of our presentation. And I just want us to come back and reflect more on what is my portion of responsibility as a leader and guide the rest of the team members or my team to deliver high quality or provide services that are more efficient and effective. But remember, it is incumbent upon you as a leader to produce the results that are needed so that your members are also able to emulate, because that trickle down, the trickle effect that is supposed to be seen will definitely help you to have optimum levels of achievement. Thank you very much, and back to you, Chris.
Thank you very much, Cornel, for that quite insightful presentation. Now, just in 1 or 2 minutes, I know there are people who are wondering why maybe you could mix English and Swahili, but I just wanted to summarize some of the things we have discussed today. Ya kwamba tumesema tulikuwa tunazungumzia mambo jinsi wewe kama mwajiri unafanya kazi aje na wale ambao umewaajiri, na tukasema ya kwamba wale ambao umeleta pale ama wale ambao umeleta pale wakusaidie kufanya kazi ni watu wenye maana sana, ni wale ambao lazima uangalie, na tumesema kuna mambo ambayo ni madogo mtu anaweza sema ya kwamba haina maana, lakini kuna maana zaidi, hasa kwa yule mfanyikazi ambayo umeajiri. Kwa mfano, mambo moja tumesema ya kwamba mambo ya kuongea na wao, kuwasalimia, kutabasamu nao, kuwajulia hali, kuzungumza nao kila wakati. Na wakati mtu amefanya jambo bora, ni vyema uende kwake na mweleze umefanya kazi vizuri. Na jambo kama hili unaweza sema pale wafanyikazi wako wengine, na pale umeona kuna changamoto ama amekosea, muite kando na usimwelezee mbele ya watu wengine, kwa maana tunajua kile kizungu tunaita ya kwamba kuna kile una manage the self esteem. Wakati umemgonga, wale wengine pia wanaona tunaona pia wanajifanya hapa kimbelembele, na unaona vile leo alifanywa. Muite kando na muelezee pale au kufanya vizuri, lakini naamini ya kwamba kesho utafanya vizuri. Tena tukasema ya kwamba ijapokuwa hasa wakati huu tuko na changamoto, mambo ya COVID-19 imefanya biashara ziende chini kabisa, lakini wafanyikazi wako ama yule mfanyikazi ambaye uko na yeye, kila wakati usimweleze tu, unajua nimekuonea tu huruma, mimi nakufanyia tu favor, ndio nimekuajiri hapa. Hapana. Ijapokuwa mambo ni magumu, lakini umpatie moyo. Unapompatia moyo, hata yeye atakuwa na moyo wa kufanya kazi, na tunapofanya kazi pamoja hivyo, tutaona biashara zetu zitakuwa, na kila mtu atakuwa anatoka pale akitabasamu. La mwisho, tumesema ya kwamba wanapoingia pale kazini, wafanye waone ya kwamba biashara hiyo wanapofanya si yako, lakini wao pia wako na share pale, kwa maana umewaleta karibu na umewafanya waone ya kwamba hii biashara ni sisi sote. Sasa ikienda mbaya, ikianguka, hata mimi nitakuwa nimeanguka. Sasa walete pamoja na mtembee pamoja, na biashara zetu zitakuwa na manufaa na tutaendelea vizuri. Asanteni sana. Back to you, Peter.
Thank you so much, Chris, and thank you so much, Colonel. Chris, I like that, even the summary that you've given for Kiswahili, just for us to appreciate their basic things. Yeah, vitu rahisi zile tunapitia kwa kila siku na vile tuna interact na customer na our employees. So very, very simple things that we do, and possibly we may have a very good staff that we want to retain, but there's some level of weaknesses that maybe we need to develop. So I think those are good insights that you've shared. But before maybe I go to the other presenter, Chris and Cornell, don't know, there's one person who is asking, what is this emotional intelligence? Maybe you want to go back there, and what are they supposed to do? What are they expected to do? Maybe you want to go back to the emotional intelligence, and what exactly are we telling our customers, all the employers, to do to be able to handle these employees? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peter. That's a very good question. And in a nutshell, when just simplify it by saying that you are managing your own emotions. So when you're managing your own emotions, you also want to understand other people's emotions. Katika ile hali ya kusema hisia zako, wakati unapohusiana na watu, then kusikue na mkwaruzano wa kiasi fulani, kwa sababu kukiwa na mkwaruzano, then kuna watu ambao wataathirika kwa njia moja ama nyingine. Kwa hivyo ni muhimu tuweze kuelewa wengine wakati tunapoongea, wakati tunapohusiana na watu katika hii hali ya uongozi na biashara. Lazima tukue very careful that tutakwaruzana nao kwa njia moja ama nyingine, lakini tunapokwaruzana, basi lazima tuangalie njia mwafaka ambayo lazima turudiane. Na wakati tunaporudiana, tunaona ya kwamba tutakuwa pamoja, na employees sana wanapenda kusikia wakati tunapokosana tunarejeana. So we have to reconcile, and that is why we are saying we must manage conflict in one way or another. And again, we are saying we are usually under pressure. And when we are under pressure, then our emotions also reign high. So we must be very careful and identify how best do we suppress those emotions, and then look at ni njia gani ambayo itanisaidia nisiweze kumgandamiza mwenzangu. Nafikiri when we are talking about that, then you should be able to understand the emotional intelligence aspect as far as your daily interaction with people is concerned. Thank you, and over to you, Peter.
Thank you, Colonel, for that answer. And thank you so much for that. I think it's critical, and I think we cannot do business alone. And once you lead the way, then the others follow. And so it's very critical for us to keep empowering these employees that we have and the people that we work with. And I like what you said, that if someone does well, can you place them on the public where any other person can hear and people can listen, and they can see an area that they want to to work on, maybe for them also to get the same praise. And again, just to work on their self-esteem. Then you don't have to punish them in front of the people, yeah, or scorn them. What Colonel is saying, scorning, yeah, or shouting before people. So it's very important to make sure that then we have employees and they sometimes go do things the wrong way. But I think, how do we even handle that? So thank you so much for that. I think there are questions that are coming, and one of the things people are asking is, we share the slides as we did last time, and as we keep on doing, I want to confirm that we'll also share with you for everybody who attended. I think the other presenter, the other presentation that is coming from the bank side is on a solution that we have on e-commerce. It's a solution that we can also use as customers and in our businesses. And I would want us to take some time and listen to Dalmas Mukabalas, who is in charge of this product, just for him to take us through and tell us the new developments and what it does to their customers and to our customers in terms of them managing their businesses better. So Dalmas, if you can hear me, you can put on your video and you can take us through the next part of the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Thank you, Peter, for the invite and giving me a chance to speak to the noble citizens who are trying to change our economy and supporting the general welfare of our human beings. I want to appreciate Christopher and Cornell. It has been a learning lesson to me too. This is a great thing, having to know how to manage people. And it starts with yourself, the way they have simply said this. It starts with yourself. The emotional intelligence is a key thing, and we appreciate that. So now when I come in from the bank perspective with the e-commerce solution, let me start by simply saying this. You will only manage the people if your organization is still afloat. How does the bank come in to make sure that your organization is afloat? We have been talking about the changing in the environment. What is changing with the pandemic? What has changed? People are crying that things are hard and tough. What are we doing to make sure that you as our customer and you with your employee, with the part that you are playing, they are still there and they are assured, when I'm coming to the safety needs, they are assured that they have a job tomorrow. How are you going to remain relevant? That is why as a bank, we usually say the new normal. We usually say now people are going online and they're doing e-commerce. Are we still sticking into our traditional way and we are saying we want to secure whatsoever we were doing yesterday? You cannot do the same thing the same way and expect a change. You can start blending with the new change and the new trends. So the only thing I can simply say, why did the bank think of coming up with the e-commerce solution or online payment acceptance solution? We are simply saying is that with the pandemic, people have resorted to use the technology, that is internet, and the numbers are unprecedented. It has changed basically. In Kenya alone, by 2020, 22.86 people were using internet, and they were accessing goods through internet. So how are you going to tap into this to make sure that you have the organization to run, to make sure that you are meeting the needs of these employees there and your business is having a future? You will be there tomorrow and the pandemic will not come to sweep you off. So we can move to the next slide. As a bank, we have come with a solution. We do not want us to continue with the traditional way because people have also changed and the cheese has moved. They are moving to the new dispensation. So what are we coming in to try? In your business where you sit, are you having a challenge because somebody is locked down and you are not receiving the payments? We are simply telling you, you can onboard and embrace the new acceptance solutions that the bank has developed for you specifically to make sure that you are receiving that payment, to ensure that you are able to replenish your stock, you are able to pay your employees, you are able to sustain your business at the end of the day. So to speak to this solution is that we have a solution that you as a person If you have a big business and you have a website, we can come install it in your end and enable people to make the payment because it is so available, simple, and fast. It is safe, and people are assured that when we are using this solution, because the fear people are having is that I can enter to make payment using this solution and my card will be compromised and my account will be compromised. We are giving a solution that is safe and people are assured that everything will be okay at the end of the day. Because we are in business to make sure that we are getting returns and people are comfortable to make the payments. So what are we saying? We are simply saying, if you have a big business and you have a website, we can give you a checkout page. And if you have a business, the small business, we are not locking you out. We can enable you to generate links and send to your, let me say, to your customer, and they make the payments. Maybe you are doing invoicing. The paperwork will be reduced because we have an e-invoicing that will enable that customer to come in, key the details, and make the payment. The payment is so seamless that it will come directly to your account. What will this help you with? We have noted in this era, people want to make payment, but they do not want also to hustle and struggle to make your payment. So is there a need for us to make it simple and convenient for you to receive payment, and to make it simple and convenient for the other person to pay you? That is the thing that we are coming in with. We are simply telling you, come to us, visit our nearest branch, call us, we will share our details, and we will enable you to receive these payments. Most of the time we are talking of, there is that lockdown. You have that customer now in Western Kenya, the lockdown is there. So whatsoever we are doing, what are we doing to make sure that these people, you are still supplying them and they are able to pay you? You can do delivery. Cargo has not been locked down. So to be relevant in the market and to make sure that you are continuing with your business without being affected by the pandemic, this is the solution that we are simply telling you. Embrace it, talk to us. Because of the time constraints, we cannot go deeper, but feel free to contact us and we will elaborate on whatsoever this is. So can we go to the next slide? Okay, I'm sorry, let me simply come to this. The simplest way that we can do and we can help to tackle this. We are coming to you as an MSME by telling you, kindly, can you personalize receiving these payments? Because why should somebody, you have supplied somebody and is not simply turning, let me say, is not simply refusing to make the payments, but it is hard for the person to make the payment. So this is a tool that we can give you to generate an invoice. You can simply tell somebody, I am allowing you to pay my goods that I supplied you in these installments, and I'll be sending this invoice at this regular time span. So we are telling you that we have a solution that is very easy to integrate. We are giving you a solution that you do not need to pay any extra cost to incur the e-commerce license fee. We are giving you a solution with the multi-currency receiving option. You have somebody who wants to pay in USD and they don't want to incur FX. This is the solution that we are giving you. We are coming up with a solution that has a 24/7 availability to your customer. They are not restricted with the time and the geographical boundaries. The system is compliant to the global standard, and we are saying we will give you a dedicated relationship person. So rather than belaboring and diluting on the people management, we are simply saying we want you to manage your people by ensuring that your business is there and it is still running. So whatsoever we are telling you is that the bank is there to support you. With any change, we will come with a solution to support you. So feel free, come to us. We will be able to guide you and elaborate on this and ensure that your business is still afloat. So thank you, Peter, for this. I do believe I have been within my 10 minutes, and I will simply return the meeting back to you. And to encourage our customers, if you have attended this session, feel free to contact us. We have given our numbers, we have given our email address. Share with us anything. We will be willing to come and tell you how the solution works and how the solution will enable you remain afloat and make sure that your customers are comfortable and you are going to the new territories to make sure that you are expanding your business and your turnovers are not being affected. So Peter, back to you. For any question, we will be here to respond to to our esteemed customers so that they can leave this session satisfied group and satisfied lot. Back to you, Peter.
Thank you, Dalmas. And just to encourage the customers to continue sharing their questions through the chat box. I think they are doing that, and as they are doing that, maybe Dalmas, I know we had given you 10 minutes, but possibly you just want to go easy in terms of the explanation on specifically what is this e-commerce, and kwa mfanyi biashara, if I don't have a website, do I really need this? What point do I start interacting with it, and how do I even access it? Because yes, you've given us some insights, but maybe you want to take us to a journey of then I have a shop, maybe in town, and I want this e-commerce. Where do I start? And you know, do I need a website? Is it a must that I have a website? Is it a must that I have you know, internet banking? Possibly you want to just take it in a simpler manner for that simple business that is out there, and they want to have this solution as we wait for the other questions to come. Thank you. Dalmas.
Okay, thank you, Peter. So chenye nataka kueleza, wacha nijaribu kuzungumza kwa Kiswahili. Tumekuja na huduma ya kukusaidia wewe kama mwanabiashara. Tuwajua unataka biashara yako iendelee, unataka kuendelea kupata mapato, lakini tumekuja tukakuambia, kitambo tulikuwa tunasema mtu kupokea malipo kutoka kwa mteja wake, na yeye kuna mteja atapiga na anasema niko mbali, mimi nataka kukulipa lakini niko mbali, lakini nataka kukulipa kutoka from my bank account directly to your account. Sitaki kwenda kutoa pesa tuniweke kwa channel zingine ndo nikulipe. Watu walikuja wakatueleza ya kwamba sisi tunataka tupate hiyo huduma ya kutusaidia tuweze kupokea malipo. Chenye nitakueleza ya kwamba ni kwamba kwa hii malipo tuko na njia mbili zenye unaweza kupata malipo kupitia, let me say, virtual means. So the thing that we are saying here is that you as a trader, wewe kama mwanabiashara, kuna wengine wanasema sina website, na hii huduma inataka mtu kuwa na website. Tunataka kukueleza ya kwamba saizi hauhitaji kukuwa na website. Tunakaa hivi tukikueleza hauhitaji kukuwa na website. Saizi kama wewe uko na duka lako, wewe una supply vitu, unauza kwa social media, unafanya mahali popote, waweza tukujia na useme naweza receive aje malipo kupitia huduma wa card, lakini sina uwezo. Sisi chenye tutakueleza ya kwamba wewe kwa ofisi yako yenye uko na simu inayoweza kuingia kwa internet, ama uko na laptop, tutakutengenezea an invoice generating tool yenye takuenable wewe kwa specific customer. Kama uko na mteja unataka kumtumia, umwambie Mary, wewe kwa huduma niliyokutumia ama kwa bidhaa zenye unataka za shilingi 20,000, ndio hiyo unaweza tumia hii njia, ingiza, enter your details and then you make the payments. So the requirements are very simple. You do not need to have a website. That should not be a hindrance. Isikuwe kizingiti ya kwamba hauwezi kuja kupata hii huduma sababu hauna website. Chenye tunakueleza ya kwamba ni wewe kama ni mwanabiashara mahali, umepata wateja wanakuja wanasema nataka kukulipa na nataka kukulipa kutumia my card. That is the ATM card, the debit card, credit card. Lakini wewe unamwambia sina uwezo ya kukuchukua na card. That one you are losing a customer. Unapoteza mteja. Na tukikuwa kwa hii era ya kusema unataka kila shilingi, kila sumuni na kila kitu, chenye tutakueleza ya kwamba ni tunataka uweze kupokea malipo yote. That single cent that you are going to lose because you cannot receive it, or you are inconveniencing somebody to go do a transaction somewhere. Tumekueleza wewe kuja kwetu, there is no cost implication. Hakuna cost utainka. Ni wewe tu tutakwambia tutupe easy documents, maybe your ID, your business license, na any other KYC document tutaitisha, tutakutengenezea with your specification a page whereby you will be able to send. Unatuma, we are saying unatuma link. Ni kama unatuma ujumbe kwa mtu, unamwambia tafadhali mtu fulani, huu ujumbe umetoka kwangu, tulifanya na wewe biashara na ilikuwa unilipe 5,000, naomba unilipe, ingiza tu details zako hapa na utanilipa. It is that simple. So tumekueleza kwa nini usikue na hii solution, na haina cost implication. Inakusaidia tu wateja wako wakulipe zaidi. Tunasema hivi sababu nimesikia watu wengine wanasema I restructured my loans. Hiyo inaonyesha biashara ilikuwa ngumu, lakini tukikupa hii na ukue na wateja wengi wenye wanaweza kukulipa. Pengine biashara yako umeifungia, pengine ni Nairobi peke yake. Kuna mtu Mombasa anataka bidhaa yako na anataka kulipa na zipike. Hii inamwezesha, utamwambia niko na hii, wewe lipa na hiyo, mimi nitadeliver zipike. To expand your niche and to expand your territory. To break the brick and mortar business, to open it to the whole globe. So hiyo ndo nimetaka kuwaambia. Sasa sijui kama nimeeleza kinagaubaga, watu wameelewa, lakini bado tuko hapa, tunaweza wasaidia. Ukitaka kujua zaidi, tuko available, tutakuwa hapa na tutawasaidia kwa vyovyote vile. So Peter, na nitarejea kwako. Back to you, Peter.
Thank you, Dalmas. Yeah, making it simpler, even using the Swahili language. So I think what we are saying, customers, we are giving us channels, as many channels as possible. We are trying to say that you don't have to be paid on cash. Yeah, you don't have to be paid on just one way, but there are so many ways that you can get your payments done. And this is another new development that has come to ensure that you are paid. And we have shared the contacts for Dalmas down there. You want to pick them and engage and get more details even after this. I know there are questions maybe coming, but maybe two have just come. One is from Godfrey Moligoli. I think he was saying that he has restructured a facility and he still feels that he wants to do some top up. Maybe just to confirm into this forum is to say, yes, last year, and because of COVID, most of you had to engage with us and say that I want to maybe add the repayment period. My business can now be able to pay only this amount of money currently, as we wait for the situation to be back to normal. And yeah, we supported you that, and what we are saying is this is a journey, and we want to keep you engaged to us so that we identify the areas that you are suffering and the challenges that you have currently. So should you feel that then you still need another facility, then I would say it's a discussion that you would be interested to have. I would encourage you that you again visit us so that then we look at your current trading levels, we understand the model of your business and see the needs that you have and see whether if we give you another facility, whether you'll be able to repay. So Godfrey, I encourage that you again engage us, maybe through your branch manager or your relationship person for branch. We'd be glad to have a sitting and engage and see how we can support you. There's another question that again has also come from Franklin. It's asking whether we support on LPO financing and what would be the requirements. Again, yes, we support. And of course, it's very easy especially for the LPO financing, because all what we are looking at is the tender documents that you have. Then of course we look at your identification documents and see maybe whether you have already done other similar transactions before, and we'll be ready to support you. So of course there'll be some small charges that we give. Please, again, is another discussion that we also want to ask you to visit us, share us the tender documents, and see. I'm sure we're able to support, because we have a trade finance department that supports on the FPO financing. So Godfrey, again, after this, maybe we can engage and they can also liaise you with people who can also help you. There's a question here that has come again. This I think Chris and Colonel will answer. It's from Jacqueline Zame. She's asking, please expand more on relationship management under emotional intelligence skills. I think there's still more need just to elaborate on the emotional intelligence, and she's asking expand more on the relationship management under the emotional intelligence. Maybe you can pick that as we wait for the others maybe to share their comments before we close, or even their questions. Yeah, so maybe Chris, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for that very good question. Now, tunaposema juu ya relationship management is that unaangalia yule mtu ambaye umemwajiri kama binadamu. Unajua kuna wale wengine wanaangalia wale waajiri not as human beings. So you develop a good relationship, a cordial relationship with him or her. Now, that's where the issue of emotional intelligence comes in. Emotional intelligence basically means how do you manage your emotions? Ya kwamba kuna wakati ambapo umeamka na uko na hasira zako. Kuna wakati umeamka uko na furaha zako. Kuna wakati uko na zile changamoto ambazo unapo wasiliana na watu wengine hamuelewani. So kile tunasema ni ya kwamba ujue ya kwamba yule mtu ambaye ako hapo katika kazi pale unapofanya, iwe ni ofisi, iwe ni duka, iwe ni popote unapofanya, huyu mtu pia ni binadamu, na kule kuwasiliana na yeye to develop some kind of a cordial relationship that will build the trust. Now huyu mtu akisha kuamini na wewe pia umemwamini, ndio nilisema ya kwamba unaweza toka pale unapofanya kazi na kazi yako itaenda. Si eti ya kwamba ukitoka unafunga juu ya kwamba you don't trust the people you are there, who you are working with. You have not developed kind of a relationship, and that's why it calls for an emotional intelligence. Now nowadays emotional intelligence unakuta ya kwamba ni kile ambacho is beyond academics, is beyond that skill ile kufanya kazi. Tuseme kwa mfano mtu anajua kushona nguo vizuri kweli, lakini hajui vile anaweza kuwasiliana na customers wake. Now that one calls for an emotional intelligence, ya kwamba ajue ya kwamba customer anapoingia nitaongea naye kwa njia gani. Je, nikiwa na hasira, hii hasira yangu nitamelekezea huyu mteja ambaye ameingia, ama nitasema anapoingia, je, nilikuwa niko na hasira lakini anapoingia I smile as if I was not annoyed. Now those are the things we are talking about when you manage your emotions, and it calls for, it's beyond the technical skills that we have. In fact, as Cornel did mention, they are called soft skills. And nowadays ndio vitu ambavyo zinafanya biashara zetu ziendelee, kwa maana inatuelekeza vile tutakuwa tunawasiliana na ule uhusiano mzuri ambao tutakuwa nayo with our staff. Thank you. Cornel, I don't know whether you have something to add.
Yes, Chris, thank you for elaborating that. And of course, an emphasis towards that is that when you're looking at the emotional intelligence skills, there are 4 things that are very critical, and perhaps you're also giving examples. And the first one is self-awareness. Yani mtu anapojijua, inamaanisha ya kwamba your emotions, they can affect the way you think and tabia zako. Kwa hivyo sasa ni muhimu kujua what are your strengths and weaknesses. You know, wakati mwingine jambo linapofanyika, wakati tunapowaelekeza wafanyikazi, you are shouting so loudly, ndio wengine waone kwamba huyu mtu anajua kushout, but others are feeling down. So it is important you even call somebody kando na mwelezea, sasa kitendo kilichofanyika sijapendelea sana, lakini najua next time you are going to improve. You see, you are now self-aware, and if you know that when mtu akushout, you'd rather not comment. Vitu zinapofanyika vibaya katika ama pale kazini, usirukie. Just take time. You can even delegate. Useme, mimi weakness yangu wana shout sana. I can ask my general, my assistant to handle it. Another skill is self-management. You are now controlling. Una control your feelings, hisia zako, tabia zako in a very healthy way. Ndio sasa wakati unapoambia watu ya kwamba tutaweza kuwaelekeza jinsi ipasavyo, then you follow on those commitments, unawaelekeza. If you are telling people that you commit in the next 2 weeks, like unasema self-generated quotation. Did you say quotation? I think in the other presentation. Then you commit that in the next 2 weeks, people are getting their statements. So you're able to self-manage, okay? And then, and of course, in different changing circumstances. Then another skill is about social awareness. You understand what are those emotions, what are those needs. In most cases, it's about the people you're managing. And then look at how you feel comfortable around them. You recognize what are those power dynamics, because unajua kuna wale watu sometimes in your team wanaongea sana. So don't usiwakate. Let them talk in the correct platforms. Direct them, because in that way, then hata their leadership skills zitaweza kufanya nini? Zitaweza kujitokeza. Then eventually, relationship management, sababu is about good relationship. Then you're able to communicate clearly. You're able to influence others. You work well in a team. And then you manage those conflicts. So in most cases, kunakuwa na ile changamoto ambayo inakuja employees hawaongeleshani. Unajua ile mnasema cold war, hawaongeleshani. But you as a leader, you need to understand, oh, why are they not kuongeleshana? You don't just ambush them. Ati najua watu hawaongeleshani hapa. Hapana. You go back and look at what is the root cause, chanzo cha kufanya hawa wafanyikazi hawaongeleshani. Then you might even find that maybe it's about work morale. So there was too much workload, na sasa unaendelea kupush employees. So it ends up with symptoms. So you don't just look at symptoms, but you look at what are the root causes of those challenges, then you address them. Thank you, and over.
Thank you. Thank you, Colonel, and also thank you, Chris, for that elaborate answer that you've given us. I think there are two questions for you, still, Chris and Colonel. One is from Samuel Onuko, is asking, how are we supposed to relate with customers when we are in the shop? I think this now is on the customer side. Then maybe you want to mention something in regards to relating with their customers. And maybe the other question from Samuel Kibicho. How about balancing vertical and horizontal management skills, passing of information? Again, in terms of the communication. So maybe you want to touch that, and then I'll be going to Dalmas as well. Thanks.
Thank you again, Peter. Now, remember, there's a quote that says that customers are the king, or customer is the king. Now, when this is the king, because it is the customer who has put you wherever you are. In that shop where you are, is a customer who has put you there. Remember the first quote we began by saying, when people don't come to you, or when people stop coming to you, it does not mean that their problems have been solved. They are okay. No, maybe they're not coming to you because you are not solving their problems. You are not attending to their needs. So you need to look at your customer as the king. Now, how do you treat the king? You need to be loyal to this king. You need to be happy. Let the king not see you as if he or she, when he walks into your shop, you look like him or her as a disturbance. This person has not come to interrupt your business, but this person has come here to add value. He or she has walked here to add value to your work. So you need to look at this person in a positive way. First of all, smiling and even being able to go an extra mile. Remember, there are small things that people do that add value, because you may find that there are a number of shops in one line, but people will be going to a particular shop simply because when you go there, you say that nisaidie na ningependa kununua maziwa, for example. Now, kabla hujamuuzia maziwa, amefika pale, salamu peke yake. Umeamkaje, om habari yako, umetokaje, something like that. Just to climatize, to make this person relax. Then now you give whatever you are given. Now, once you have given, you say, asante, kuja tena, ama rudi tena. Now, this person says, oh, I've gone here to buy, I used my mind, and this guy is telling me, thank you. So such small things add value to what we do, the work we do, and how we relate with our customers. Cornel, can you pick up and maybe respond to the second question too, if at all there's anything that you want to add?
I'm not quite sure whether I got it very clearly, but you're asking about vertical and horizontal communication. Was that the question?
Maybe let me read it again, and I will read the two questions that have also come. Samuel Kibicho is asking, how about balancing vertical and horizontal management skills, passing of information? Then number 2 is, thanks for this seminar, but there are those employees who will repeat the same mistake repeatedly. How do I handle such? That is coming from Francis Shege. So I hope you've gotten the first one. I think it's in terms of the communication. There's a way you can communicate horizontally to the people. Maybe you are in the same level, and the way you also pass that information to the people up there on the ladder. So maybe you want to mention something around that.
Thank you, Peter. That's a very good question, because there is no written script showing, this is the exact way of communicating vertically. This is the way of communicating horizontally. But the basic principle is that vertically, when now you are giving information to your bosses, kwa sababu tuko na different levels, wale watu wako juu yako, there is a way you'd want to manage those skills formally, through maybe unawaandikia email kuhusu changamoto ambazo ziko, or even write letters to them. And same applies to hata wale employees wako chini yako. Then you want that communication to trickle down and pass whatever information that is intended. Again, the other way is informal. Unaita watu kwa mkutano tu, maybe a brief one, unaelezea exactly what the intention or the goal or the task is, so that the informal ways of doing things in organization are very powerful than formal. Because watu wakikuja kwa mkutano labda, ama watu wakikuja wanapo interact, the formal ones, the people tend to fear. They tend to send representatives, then representatives would now put forth your views. But the informal ones, you just throwing, people are just throwing words. For example, watu wanasema, mimi unajua mimi sijaridhika sana na hii mambo ya ati staff out wanapokuja Saturdays, yet we are the ones who are still working as support staff. Unaona kitu kama hiyo inajitokeza in a very good way, in an informal way. So then we're able to know that kuna staff ambao wako grip. So sometimes it's always good to say, to be sensitive. Sensitivities around that kind of communication will be very, very important. Somebody also asked, alafu na wale horizontal, again, those are people of the same, wale mko nao level moja. So sending information across board so that always they are constantly reminded, or you are reminding them of the expectation, would be very key, because you're also trying to manage them in one way or another. So somebody, ameuliza, you keep on making mistakes repeatedly. How do you help that person? In any work environment, and when you are dealing with the employees, kuna wale watu ambao constantly they are making mistakes. And it is important you talk to them again. Talk to them first. Find out the mistake ile ambao amefanya, yet mulikaa chini muka discuss, and keep on kurudia the same mistake. Because it is important as a leader to know, to understand what is the reason or the rationale behind it. Maybe anaifanya to revenge. Maybe anaifanya because of lack of information. Maybe anaifanya because ako stressed. So if you look at those three things, then you'll be able to know, kama anaifanya na ako stressed, then you can be able to refer appropriately within. If your organization iko na HR management, then una refer. But if your organization haina HR, then utataka ku find out really ni changamoto gani zingine ambazo zinakufanya you cannot be able to perform this just because it is stress. It can be mutu hana ile the right skill. Remember I talked about hiring. You hire the right people and you keep on empowering them. Maybe you mutu hana ile knowledge ya kuperform that procedure constantly na anafanya mistake. Find out, work with that person, nionyeshe unaifanya namna gani. Then akifanya, then you realize, oops, out of the 3 steps or out of the 4 steps, umepata 2 correct, but ingine haujapata vizuri. So then focus on that step ambayo may miss, then you'll be able to help this employee to get it right. Because doing it repeatedly, if you don't understand, then kutakuwa na conflict. That's what I can say for now. Thank you, and over. Maybe
Peter, just one point to add on the issue of communicating vertically and horizontally. Now, also the tone of your voice, the language you use matters a lot whom you are communicating with, because the language that you use communicating to your boss is not the same language you'll use communicating to your peers. Now, you find that there are those of us who are used to sharing, for example. Now, you are talking to your superior or you're talking to your senior, now you're using sharing. And as a young person, you see, they are wondering, what are you saying? So we also need to look at whom are you talking to, the language you use, even the posture, how you stand, how you package your words, and all that matters when you're communicating to the person. So it's important. Again, this one calls for the emotional intelligence, understanding yourself, the self-awareness. Who am I? Then once you know who you are, then you'll know how to communicate with the other person, because you understand yourself. Then you'll know how to package yourself and how to package anything that comes from you, be it because we have the verbal and the non-verbal communication. So we also need to balance all this. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Colonel, for that answer. I think you've mentioned something, and I think it's also related to a question that has been asked here by Esther Ojuang. I will read it, then I will also read the two questions for Dalmas, then we can wrap up, because I'm looking at time and we are almost time. So one question here from Esther: how can I behave as a manager, yet I'm employing staffs who are more learned than me? So maybe it's a good question that you want to mention something. Then there are two questions for you, Dalmas, in regards to the e-commerce. How safe is the link that a customer will agree to input their details? Yes, you want to mention something regarding the security. There's a question again also from Gladys. She's asking, she's saying she's in Mombasa and she needs more details on how she can be supported, especially in the branch. Maybe how can she get access to the support person? So maybe go first, Chris, then we'll have Dalmas. Thank you.
Thank you very much again. Thank you, Esther, for that very good question. That how can you behave as a manager, yet you are employing staffs who are more learned than you? Remember, this is now where we bring in the element that we did mention. When you're talking about emotional intelligence, it has nothing to do with the academics. Nothing at all to do with academics. Now, how do you package yourself even before that person who is learned in their specific areas? Now, when they're coming in, you are bringing them in because they are qualified in those specific areas. You are also qualified in your own right. You are qualified in terms that you have been able to put together a company, you have been able to put together a business, you are qualified in that area. Now, this person you are bringing in, for example, you are not good in finances. So you are bringing in somebody who is qualified in financial issues to be able to support you in that area. So he's an expert in that particular area. You are bringing somebody who is good in customer relations, qualified in that area. But generally, what you are saying is that look at yourself as an expert in your own area. Then appreciate the skills that these people have brought in on board. However, I know there are people who will start looking at the academic academic side. That, you know, I have masters, but you only, or I have a PhD, or I have whichever level of education, but you don't have that. Now, can you be able now to present yourself as an expert in that particular business? This is my business. I brought it up, and I've now brought you in now to support me in your various areas of expertise. Don't always look down yourself. And I know there are people who, during recruitment, they fear bringing on board people who are more qualified than them because they'll feel it will be some inferiority. Don't be inferior before them. Already, your experience, the experience you have is more than even that skill that they're coming with. Now, you might not have the papers, but the experience that you have garnered all through will enable you to move to the next level. Thank you.
Maybe just an addition to what Chris has mentioned, that you are supervising or managing staff who are more qualified than you. And I want us to remember that nobody has monopoly over knowledge. And when you are bringing diverse teams of professionals, there are things that will guide you to manage them very well, and they get more motivated. One of them is they have all the skills and competence to perform that work. So trust them. There is no need of micromanaging them because they already know what is supposed to be done. By you making sure that there are clear tasks and expectations, and what are the deliverables that are supposed to come out of that engagement. Wapatie timelines and deadlines to achieve. So when you do that, the staff will feel motivated, and this is the organization to work, because they are maneuvering in all the ways to just make sure that they are reaching the goal, the common vision that your organization intends to realize. Thank you, and over to you, Peter.
Thank you, Dalmas.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Thank you, Peter. I will just go directly to the question because of the interest of time. For Dorcas, where you are asking how safe is the link? Yeah, it is safe in a manner that we are using a technology called 3DS. This 3DS, it works in a manner that when the customer keys in the details, akieka details zake, the payment will not be deducted directly. There is something we call OTP, one-time password, whereby he is supposed to input that one-time password, and that one-time password will only come to the customer's phone, the updated phone number in the system, and or the email that is updated in the system. So it is that safe in a manner that there is nobody who will access these normal details that you have keyed in and he makes the transaction. If he tries to do that, the customer will receive the one-time password. And then you must key in that one-time password to make the transaction, to complete the transaction. So the transaction is secured. Hata mtu achukue kadi yako, achukue details zako haje, haezi make transaction. In the past, ningepata kadi yako, ningeenda nifanye transaction. Even some of the system now allows that. Lakini in this system that we are proposing to you is that nobody will come and key in your details and complete the transaction unless umempa akona kadi yako, akona simu yako, access ya simu yako, ama akona access ya email yako. Hapo ndo ataweza make the payment. That is how well we have secured the system. And people who use it once, they are now gaining confidence to say, I will use these means of payment because there is nobody who can access my money. Ni mpaka mimi mwenyewe nikuje niweke hii one-time password ndio kuwe hivyo. So our system is 3DS, which is 3-dimension secured. So ndo mtu apite all the 3 security phases. Wewe utakuwa umemwalao, ama customer wako atakuwa umemwalao, amempa simu ndo akipata password ataeka, amempa email ndo akipata hiyo password ataeka. The password also doesn't last forever. It is something that will be there for 15 minutes. So these 15 minutes, it can expire. It is a one-time password. So we do believe with that, the customer is secured. Nobody will access let me say the account funds simply because the link is there. And then the link itself is also a one-time link. Haitakaa hapa karibu forever. Ukifanya umalize kulipa, it is done. And then I'm looking at Gladys. Gladys alikuwa anasema ako Mombasa na anataka kupata more details. Chenye ndakwambia Gladys, kwa branches zetu, ukifika kwa branches na uulize nataka mtu mwenye atanisaidia na merchant business. Kwa branches zetu kuna a dedicated staff mwenye atakushughulikia, atakueleza in case there is a technical bit, watatufikia na tutaweza kukusaidia. Lakini hata venye uko hapa hivi, namba yangu iko hapo ya Dalmas. Feel free to pick it, we can engage and then I can guide you and tell you how to do it. Pita kidogo, nimeona swali imetoka kwa Kenneth Okelo. Kenneth Okelo akisema anafanya some automobile mobilization and the business nature, and he was simply looking at the partnership bit. Kennedy, we will be glad to engage you because the unit that we support is e-commerce and partnership. Umetuma website yako, I will go through it. Kindly also pick my number. I will be willing to come, engage and support you wherever you are. Sasa kama uko hapa na uko na swali yoyote, pengine visit the nearest branch, tutumie email, barua pepe ziko hapo, we will get back to you and we will handle you, and then make sure that we are not tossing you from one person to another. Feel free to contact us, but we are here to serve you and we are here to give you the best solution and the best experience. Back to you, Peter.
Thank you, Dalmas. Maybe we can, as we go to the last slide, Chris. Maybe you want to give your last closing remarks, Chris. And I don't know whether Dalmas you through, whether you have any closing remarks as we go to the call to action. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peter. I just want to thank all the participants and the questions that they have raised, and even just to encourage us that let's look at the people we work with as part of our business. Then we are going to succeed regardless of the challenges we go through. Let's work with them. We'll be able to achieve the success and the goals that we have for our businesses. Thank you.
Okay, Peter, maybe the closing remarks I'll give, it is just to thank the participant for creating time to come. And then the other thing I'll simply say, bringing the close examples on, if we need to move with the changing business environment, the innovation that are coming to make ourselves relevant. I can just use an example. Previously, let me say 4 or 5 years ago, we were using the traditional taxis. Now we are using the Ubers, the Taxify, and the Bolt. Previously, we were using the Kodak to take photos. Nowadays, we have smart photos. So how relevant can we stay? Let us move with the technology. Let us be relevant with the business so that we can remain afloat in the market. And we are here to support. Feel free to get to us. Peter, you are doing a great job. Anything they so need, we will be there to support. So we are here to support you to move with the current situation. The cheese is moving and we are there to move you and show you direction and support you so that we also continue having you as a customer. One thing, the same way they are saying, managing people. If we do not help you to have your business well, I will not have employment because you are banking with us, you are taking our loans to make us afloat. Thank you, and I am simply telling you, feel free to contact us and we'll give you the best service. Back to you, Peter.
Thank you so much, Dalmas, for those comments. And again, Asante Sana, Christopher, thank you so much, Colonel, and of course, Dalmas. Thank you for the great answers that you've also given us and also the presentation. And again, I also want to take this opportunity to really appreciate our customers again for joining and listening. Maybe just a few call to action. Yeah, it's now for us to identify areas of improvement in our business management and, take action. And of course, we continue to encourage you to visit our branches, meet our business bankers and the branch managers and get more details, especially now the topic that we have had on e-commerce and even other solutions. Again, we encourage you, keep banking with us because we have solutions for you that are also tied to your banking. And again, we have our website down there and our portal that we also keep on adding information regarding MSMEs, and you'll get a lot of insights. So we are in the information age, and what Dalmas is saying is that we have to keep ourselves updated with information and ready to change, even on technology. Again, we encourage you to keep safe of this COVID. We are still not yet out of woods, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. So we want to really appreciate all of you. Asanteni sana, because you joined in good time and you learned. For more details, we can continue to support you and we can continue to engage you. The Kenya Bankers Associations, they are celebrating the MSME Day today and tomorrow, and I want to encourage. There's a link that I've shared on the chat. Maybe you can get all the banks listed there. There's a link that I've shared today. There are some booths, some virtual booths that you can visit. Go to once you register, you can actually come to our bank and you can also get more information. We will have some people there that can give you more information. So you can pick that link, and we'll also share them through your emails immediately after this so that you can also get more insight. So again, I think for us, it's really to really appreciate all of you. Yeah, because of your time. I know we had anticipated to end at 12:30, but again, 12 minutes, we have eaten 12 minutes of your time, but we are happy that you have been patient all through. We want to keep you supported. We'll have another topic next week on mental wellness, and a very great topic for next week. Please plan to attend. We'll be sharing the details for your attendance. So asanteni sana, let's keep engaging. Let's visit our branches. Let's have this conversation ongoing. Asanteni sana. May God bless you and your businesses. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Yeah, goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.